before we want to talk about Dante's Inferno versus God of War 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you think about the competition between them two? Because I know they, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people been talking shit about Dante's Inferno. So you gotta let them know what you think. You've been playing it already, so you let me know.
All right, listen. What I'm trying to say is I never played God of War. I've never played it 1, 2, or the new one coming out.
Right.
I played Dante's Inferno. Now, for me, the realization of the hell that is playing about is you can't compete with it. What is it saying? People have written books about it. Okay,
right.
You're talking about comparing a story or a realization what the Bible says compared to a mythological that don't exist.
But the people, what they talking about is the gameplay. Like it's the same shit like God of War 3 and God of War 2 and 1.
It could be the same, but I'm not in here for the gameplay. I'm in here to be, when I'm playing that game, I want to be a part of that game. I want to be that person. Okay?
Right.
When I'm playing God of War, if I'm going to play God of War, I know Zeus don't exist. I know Thor don't exist. But I know the devil does. I know hell does. So you gonna tell me when people wrote books about that, and you gonna tell me what this game does not do for you? Come on.
I mean, don't get it fucked up. The game is hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people say they like it, but it's just a God of War ripoff, man. Like,
you know what? It could be a God of War ripoff, but you're not looking at. I mean, if you look at the gameplay, then you're being closed-minded. All you're looking at is how fast can my fingers move. You're not looking at the character. You're not trying to get into the character. When you play a game like let's say Call of Duty 4 or another game where you're playing the first person, you're into that character.
Right.
And in this kind of aspect, you know, the stuff like that exists or could exist.
Right, but. All right, so how about these niggas from like GameTrailers.com, IGN.com? Like, these are like the top, you know what I'm saying, editors and all that. They gave that joint like a 6.5, a 7 on out of 10. Like, you know what I'm saying, giving it bad reviews.
They're looking at the gameplay,
and
their whole mentality is like, oh, it's a ripoff from this game. They're looking at the gameplay. Don't look at the gameplay. Look at the story. Look at the character. Look, can you imagine yourself as that character? I mean, that could be a real character. You talk about the Knights Templars that did exist. You talk about the Crusades that did exist.
Okay.
Compared to God of War, I mean, I'm not hating on God of War. It's a good game, but to compare to a mythological, is there any records that Achilles exists? Is there any records that Thor exists? Is there any records that Hercules exists? No.
How about the gates of hell and all that shit? A lot of people don't believe in that shit neither. Like, that joint is like, I mean, that's from what people tell me. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I never been to hell, so.
If you think about it, you got guys 300, 400, 500 years ago writing books of what their mental mentality is of hell. What they think, and these books have been, you know, studied over and over again. I mean,
so you're going over story than over gameplay. That's what you're trying to say.
I'm going over a story over gameplay. I'm not gonna.
So you overlooking the gameplay, trying to be like God of War, so the question is, you think God of War 3 ain't better than Dante's Inferno?
I'm not saying God of War 3 is better than Dante's Inferno. I'm saying the storyline, the concept, the whole structure of what the game is about, it's a lot better than God of War, because you're talking about now you're talking about comparing mythological to what might be realistic.
Okay, so have you played God of War 1 and 2?
I have not played God of War 1 and 2. I'm
so
not going to lie about that, so I don't know. But then you're going to put me on the spot right there.
So, you know, so you can't say nothing about the story on that, John.
No story, because mythological don't exist.
But you gotta realize it's only a game.
It's not a. Well, I understand it's not a game, but these hardcore players who talk about, oh yeah, then they're looking at this. If they're so animate and so into the game like that, then they gotta believe into the game. So if you're willing to believe into the game, so why are you gonna believe into a story that don't exist? Wouldn't you rather believe into a story that might exist?
So the God of War 3 game come out in like 2 weeks, man. Are you gonna grab that joint? Have you even played the demo? The demo just came out today.
I haven't even played the demo.
It came out.
See, my whole thing is I don't look at in my objective. I don't look at the gameplay or how or this and that. I look at what can be. Is this something that can be? Is this something that can't be?
So you're a Dante's Inferno fanboy?
All the time.
Oh shit, that's it.